Welcome to Girl Next Door. I am so excited because today I'm going to be talking about a new project I've been working on where I'm basically making cookies for a local fast casual restaurant. The idea originated when I went there and I saw the dessert selection that they had, which is basically one cookie and it's like a certain type of cake. It's like a brownie cake cookie type of thing. I really like the fast casual restaurant because they have vegan options and they're all gluten-free, so I really trust it. I had an idea and I ended up emailing them and just saying like, hey, this is my Instagram. I am a food blogger. I live really close. I had no idea what I was doing. I was like literally just flying by the seat of my pants and thinking like, who knows what this could turn into. So I got feedback on the first round, just dropped off the second. Fingers are crossed. I am so hopeful for it, but I'm at a stage where I'm like, I need to release this to God and through prayer, just take it out of my own hands because it's not in my hands anymore. I'm gonna bring you through the experience a little bit with the testing that I did, and then this is where I'm at right now. And who knows, by the end of this video, I might actually have a story about what ended up happening. So yeah, I'm excited to share this journey with you, and please let me know, if you have any questions or anything, feel free to shoot me a DM or comment below. So let's get into it. It is Sunday morning, and before I work out, I am going to taste test these cookies because every day this week I've made 3 to 4 variations of this tahini chocolate cookie. When I got a good one, I would save a couple in one of these containers in the freezer, and so now I'm taste testing them to make sure, just to compare. So like the first one, this one was like crunchy and soft in the middle. I truly think this is the best one. And then this one was a little bit chewier, but still really good and almost the same texture as the first one. So I really like this one too. This one's a little bit different. It definitely was like flat and I needed to add more flour. So then last night I made this one, which ended up being amazing. Like sometimes I feel like everyone has a different kind of cookie that they like, and this one is so different from like these 3. And so I might still bring this once I decide, and I'm gonna have a friend come over to make sure all 4 are good to bring, and then I'm gonna remake all of them today for tomorrow morning to bring to the restaurant. So I want them to be fresh, I want them to be like perfect, so that is the current process. So I am so glad and grateful that Rebecca's coming over because I've tasted so many cookies at this point that I would love a second opinion, and honestly like feedback is so helpful because then I will know, like, the biggest decision is going to be whether or not to bring the 2 versions of number 1 or number 1 and number 2, because number 2 might be a little bit grainy and I'm not sure. So it'll be good to hear from her, and then I'm going to be bringing the cookies over to the restaurant this afternoon, and then praying very heavily for the rest of the week because whatever happens, I learned so much from the experience, and I just want to have my heart in the right place this week as I'm, processing and praying over it, because it'd be really cool to be selling cookies in an actual restaurant. But it's like such a fun experiment regardless. One of the parts of this whole journey that's been it's been testing me a little bit is just the fact that I never actually get feedback on my cookies. So many of my friends will try them and they'll be like, this is amazing. And when you bring it to an actual restaurant and they're gonna sell it to people, it like definitely ups the intensity of and like the quality of what you are making. They gave me feedback. The feedback was that they were dry and chalky, and so I realized like, oh my gosh, I think gluten-free flour can do that, and so I had to get creative, and I use like dates and nut butters and things like that to try to make the consistency and the texture like more moist or just like thicker and denser. And so that was what I ended up doing, and I think honestly my baked goods are gonna improve so much just in the quality, where like if you make one of my recipes it will be like restaurant quality, which is the goal. So
that's like a silver lining that has come out of this process, even if I don't end up selling them in the restaurant. But it's definitely been a challenge and a trial for me to grow through that, like the feedback process.
And then I think that this is going to be version 3 for the cookies, which I've tested like literally over 10 times now. So this is the 3rd recipe that I'm going to bring, and I'm going to top it with sea salt rocks right now and sesame seeds, because these are tahini cookies, and so tahini is made with sesame seeds. So it makes sense to top them with them. And then I also just always add like a little bit more chocolate to the top because it adds so much. So I'm excited to see how this one turns out. I think it's like almost perfect, so I'm really excited. So I'm making the next batch of Bright Walk cookies, the final batch, hopefully. So this is the 2nd round. I put extra baking powder in these, and I'm testing out the salt because they said that they were pretty salty. So I actually made 1 round with 2 pinches of salt, then this one has 1 pinch of salt. These were really good, and honestly they turned out really good. This has less baking powder, like the amount that I used originally. And then I'm also going to test out seeing how they do when they're frozen. These are all of the bites that I'm going to bring over to them. And I tested these out this morning to see if they thaw well, and they do, luckily. So I think these are gonna be good, but I just need their thoughts on how they want to present them. I did a little poll on my stories, and people did not like the cake pop idea. People liked this idea. Like, one of my friends had an idea to drizzle chocolate on top. A lot of people liked the cacao nibs. Some people liked the cashew and the sprinkles, goji berries. People preferred the goji berries like rolled versus just on top. And my friend had an idea to put cacao powder on them too. So we will see what they think of those. And I'm gonna see how these turn out when I bake them after being frozen, because that would definitely change the cookies. So that's the current plan.
A couple updates for you about the restaurant, which I can now tell you is Bright Walk, which is a stir-fry, gluten-free, vegan options type of fast casual restaurant in River North, Chicago. At this point, I've actually been going in a couple times a week. I started by making the cookies and the cashew cookie bites, which the cashew cookie bites have like a drizzle of chocolate on them, and then the cookies, I was just giving them balls of dough and they were baking them. It's been so fun. Like, this is something that I've wanted to do for so long, so to actually be able to be selling my cookies in a physical location. Like, my cookies are on the menu, my name is on the menu, craziness. And what I'm trying to do right now is like create a consistent structure so that I could go in even once a month and bake a ton, freeze them, and then they could sell them as needed. So they're selling really well, which is the good news. They've sold out twice, but they don't want to sell more now until they have enough inventory to sell them for like 2 weeks at a time. A lot of you guys have reached out about the process and how I even approached this endeavor. A lot of people are interested in making their own products, and I was just recently reading a note I had made in my phone about my 1-year goals, and on there was sell one of my products, like sell a physical product, but I thought it was going to be like on my website or like just branded by me, but I had no idea that I would end up being able to sell it through another brand. So that's kind of cool. You never really know how something is going to be outworked. Your work ethic has to be stronger than your talent. So if I'm good at making cookies, that's not going to get me very far unless my work ethic is just as good as my talent, if not better. It's just not going to happen. So work ethic is so important, and just, not giving up on what you want to do is kind of like the mantra I keep telling myself. Like, there's no way I'm giving up because I want this way too badly. So that's where the grit comes in, and I think that that's what really helps you cross the finish line. Thanks so much for watching and just following along on the journey. If you have any questions, my DMs are always open, and the comments below too, so I would love to hear from you. Check me out on Instagram at girlnextdoorkk or my blog, which is girlnextdoorkk.com. And if you're interested in any of the ebooks that I've made, I make a lot of like 20-minute recipes, which is an ebook, which I'll link here. And then just my original ebook is dairy-free, gluten-free recipes. That also tells a little bit more about my story. So you can also check that out. And I would love to see you again. So thanks so much.